What's up guys, Rhen here with another 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross video. It's that time of the week, time to look at the meta, what's going on. Big shakeups this week, let's go. Alright guys, so we've got a big shakeup in the meta this week with the release of Blue Demon Meliodas, so let's jump right into the units representation. So you can see, bam, straight off the top, number one, not Blue Demon Meliodas, but Escanor, huge increase from last week. That is clearly a response to the release of Blue Demon Meliodas. People are using Blue Demon Meliodas in different comps. We're seeing a lot more pressure comps. We'll talk about the comps here in a minute, but for now, take a look at Escanor. He is in 75% of matches. He had been hovering around 50 to 55%, maybe upper 50s, but definitely not more than that. Huge jump to 75% of matches this week. That is probably the biggest shift we've seen in the meta for sure in the last 3 weeks, probably since his release. So we're seeing a little bit less Blue King. Again, I think we're starting to see probably the same evolution that we saw when Escanor came out. We're now seeing with Blue Demon Meliodas, which is that people are trying out different comps, trying out different ways to use him, trying different strategies, different backlines, different subs. And so we'll probably see some shuffling within these other characters, these other units, over the next week or two, probably up until the next banner gets released. So I'd expect to see a continuing evolution, but I'd expect to see an increase in general in Blue Demon Meliodas. Escanor probably will be there as a response to that, because Blue Demon Meliodas is pretty powerful. Hauser, we're seeing a little bit of a bump. Again, people are trying out different kinds of pressure comps. We're seeing more what I call either a pressure comp or a aggro comp, which is not using Gother. So they're not relying on control, they're not relying on cleanses, although some of them do carry a king, some of them are not carrying a king. And basically it's sort of like a cleave comp, where people are taking Escanor Meliodas or Escanor Hauser or Escanor Arthur or something like that. So that's a pretty big shift from last week, so let's take a look at what that means in terms of the comps. So in terms of the comps, again, it's a pretty big change from last week. Now, rank number 1, Escanor King Hauser, really didn't see a big change in that. So the people who were playing that, I don't know if it's the same people or not, but people are still playing that comp. I suspect we will start to see a change in that as well. We haven't seen it yet. Again, we've only got a few days of PvP going on since the release of Blue Demon Meliodas. So team number 2, Escanor King, Blue Demon Meliodas. Again, these are all new teams, so the 12% is plus 12% because last week it was 0. Same thing for team number 5, team number 6. Again, these are all Blue Demon Meliodas teams. So we said that we're seeing him in about, 27% of the matches, so a little under a third. And so that would be some combination of number 2, number 5, number 6. So overall, pretty interesting evolution. We're seeing the continued decline of number 7, which is the mono red, usually the Twigo sub. With the release of Blue Demon Meliodas, we kind of expected we would see that decline even more. And we certainly do. Meliodas is just doing a lot of damage to red right now. And, I suspect we may start to see some green backlash up against the blue. We kind of have already seen that with the Escanor 75% prevalence that we saw in the last slide. But I wonder if we'll start to see even more of it, in the coming weeks up until the next banner. Of course, when the next banner drops, it'll depend on what that is and who that is, so that'll shake things up again. But until we get to the next banner, it'll be interesting to see, are people going to start playing more blue hate, in other words, more green units, or will we see it kind of come full circle with all these Escanors, where people will start playing more red? I don't think we're really going to see that because we kind of already saw the mono red play out as a response to Escanor, so more Escanor. I feel like, the meta has already responded to that. So I feel like we're already in the next cycle past that. And I don't feel that we'll really see a resurgence of red in the next week or so. I do think we will still continue to see changes in team number 2, team number 5, team number 6, these Blue Demon Meliodas comps. I've seen a lot of different combinations that didn't make this top 10 list this week, but people are trying all different kinds of things. So I think as we move forward, people will start settling in on, what's the best. I saw a couple people YouTubers, running some different comps, and I saw some people using those comps. So I think people are out there looking for information on what to use, how to use them. We didn't see a huge penetration all at once. Again, we're seeing him in about a third of the matches. So, I've talked to some people who, even though they have pulled him, they don't feel like he's super strong in the comp that they like to run. And so I think we may just kind of see people playing around with him for the next week. And, we'll just have to watch and kind of monitor how people are using him. All right, let's take it to a color circle. And blue Demon Meliodas has brought balance to the force. So if you guys remember, we had seen red hovering at over 50% for the last 3 weeks, right around 55%, which is incredible, because when you typically see something like that, what you expect to see is blue will rise up and start, playing more blue units to counter those red. We did not see that because either people didn't feel that they had a blue unit to do that, or because they felt that playing a blue unit was too much of a liability with lots of Escanors running around smashing people's faces. However, now blue Demon Meliodas comes into play, and now we've seen basically a balancing of the color circle. So we do see, green and blue are up a little bit, red is down a little bit, and basically that's what we saw in the last graphic, which is the decline of mono red, the introduction of blue Demon Meliodas, and the +5 on green. A lot of that is from the addition of more Escanor units being played as well. So again, things are a lot more balanced now, in my opinion. It's kind of a double-edged sword. I mean, I think this is more interesting, seeing more types of teams other than just plain mono red, but at the same time, we're really only seeing one team archetype right now, which is sort of the pressure comp or the damage rush, or call it a cleave, whatever you want to call it. We're kind of just seeing that type of team right now. So it may take a few days, it may take a few weeks. I'll be interested to see, do we see some response to that type of a cleave team, to see any more control comps that come out, or some tanky comps that come out that can stand up against that, or is this just going to be the new meta up until we have the next banner? So that's what we're seeing. I'd be interested to see if you guys have seen these same type of trends, and where do you guys think this is going? I mean, do you like blue Demon Meliodas comps? I've played around with them, as you guys can see from the clips here. I think he's a lot of fun, honestly. I think he's a great unit. He's got the Pierce, which is super strong. The one thing that I struggle with a little bit is, rolling the Pierce on that gear means we're going to take a drop in CC, which could mean when we come up a team that doesn't have blue Demon Meliodas, who's just running attack, defense, or something like that, we're going to be at a little bit of a CC disadvantage. And if they're playing a pressure or cleave comp and they go first, with this type of a strategy, that is quite a disadvantage. So I do like him. I have been using him, but I'm interested to see how things are going to play out. So I think that's all I've got for you guys today. Hopefully this was helpful. Again, we do release this type of information every week, so stick around. There's a button that lets you know when I release this stuff, so I'm sure you guys can figure out what that button is. Other than that, thanks for watching, and see you soon.